up 1 minute is preseason. You're playing exhibition games, and the next minute you're right here, last home game for Cincinnati.
Well, it's been a great year for both teams. Cincinnati has surpassed expectations, their second year in the conference. West Virginia, another 20-win season, and you're going to see a lot of this, AB. Turnovers and steals, deflections, they turn teams over like crazy. 24 a game on average.
That is signature West Virginia basketball.
A very guard-heavy lineup, and they are very good. Quinterly misses right at the rim, coming off that 38-point game. It tied a single-game program record for the Mountaineers. Hilton head of steam and is called for an offensive foul. And Jordan Harrison takes the charge. Now Cincinnati, with all the deflections and steal potential for West Virginia, also going guard heavy today, with Jillian Hayes representing that lone post player. Over to Quinterly in the corner. Good feed inside. Kaya Watson missed right at the rim. A couple of easy looks for West Virginia, neither go down.
Well, JJ Quinterly garners so much attention defensively, other players are going to be open on the court.
And Reagan Jackson is fouled in the corner on the release. Kylie Blackston late on the closeout, so 2 free throws for the Bearcats.
Reagan Jackson for Cincinnati. What an impressive, steady force she is for Cincinnati. She can score high volume points. She has a career high of 29. And she can play consistent roles, backup point guard, shooting guard, defensive player, be whatever the team needs at that moment.
She's been on a roll lately. 12 points per game over the last 7. And that should have been the final free throw. It was. Everyone believed it was a 3, but her foot was on the line. So 1 of 2 for Reagan Jackson. AB, your keys today, I imagine for Cincinnati, it's going to be limiting those turnovers against West Virginia.
That's right. West Virginia is ranked first in turnovers. 60 consecutive games, they've forced 15 turnovers. That's going to be a key for West Virginia. For Cincinnati, the guards must rebound the ball. Overall, Cincinnati is a strong rebounding team. Today, a lot of pressure on the guards to rebound.
Now, Cincinnati just forced a turnover, and then Kaya Watson with a steal. And she hangs in the air, but can't lay it in again. It's been kind of a tumultuous start to this game. Some missed layups, missed free throws, a couple of turnovers, and it's 1-0 a minute and a half in.
And you see what West Virginia does that's so disruptive. Several things defensively, but one thing that we see right away is trapping and pressuring the rebounder. Ariel Jackson for Cincinnati came down with that rebound and immediately was swarmed by 2 West Virginia players.
Count it with a foul for Quinterly. Bumped on the way up by Hilton. And her first bucket opens the scoring for West Virginia.
Well, that's what JJ Quinterly, quick to the basket, and she has such a way to stop on a dime, elevate, draw the foul, and get the continuation shot.
The Ann Myers Award for the top shooting guard in the nation. She is a top 10 finalist. Caps off the 3-point play. Have to wonder how that 38-point game last time out impacts that running for that Ann Myers Award. You have to figure it puts her right around the top if she wasn't already at the top.
All eyes are on players who can score high volume points, but to do it at the consistency and the clip of Quinterly, all eyes on her.
Ariel Jackson's been on a run lately as well for Cincinnati, and she goes right to the cup for the N1. Now, Mark Kellogg, his second year at West Virginia, what a job he's done. He's never had a losing season in his coaching career. Last year, the most wins by a first-year head coach in program history. The key for him today, AB, the defense has to travel. The home and road splits for West Virginia have been pretty lopsided. 16-0 at home, 4-5 on the road. And he's just hoping his team travels well today. They're off to a bit of a sluggish start as Cincinnati got 3 different chances there, resulting in the lay-in.
Playing on the road is so key in the Big 12, particularly. These teams play well at home.
Pump fake for Harrison and then took the extra step. Now, Cincinnati head coach Katrina Merriweather, also her second season on the Bearcats sideline, has took the program to new heights this season, second year in the Big 12, and surpassed last year's overall win total and conference win total. And travel for Hayes, taking an extra step.
Quick in the possession. Reagan Jackson trying to find Jillian Hayes, the leading scorer for Cincinnati.
Harrison, the missed layup, but it will stay at this end off of Hayes.
West Virginia basketball. The Mountaineers will inbound on the baseline.
For the frantic pace, and forgive me for the word frantic, but that's what it feels like right now. A lot of up and down, back and forth, without a lot of shots on goal.
Sydney Shaw misfires from long range, the Auburn transfer, her first year in Morgantown. Chloe Mann trying to attack downhill, coming off a rather tough game in the loss on the road to Oklahoma State. Just 1 of 8 from the floor for Mann. Step back 3 here for the freshman. Rebound inside for Watson. Very good rebounder, top 5 in the Big 12, also the conference's leader in steals. Quinterly uses the window.
Well, right back at it. J.J. Quinterly down the lane line, putting pressure on Tanea Hilton.
Missed shot for Mann. Rebound to Watson once again, and here comes West Virginia. Put it right on a dime to Harrison for the 3 ball.
It's great ball movement by West Virginia. Quickly down the court to find the junior Jordan Harrison for the 3.
And made shots are so important for West Virginia, AB, because they don't press as much off of misses. So when they're making shots, that sets up that press defense. It results there in a foul by Harrison. But look at that pass. It was on the spot before Harrison was even there.
Jordan Harrison, the second leading scorer, one of 3 Mountaineers averaging double figures.
And Mann takes a seat for Cincinnati. Brianna Byers is into the game.
So now with this substitution, Cincinnati gets a little bit more size with Brianna Byers. Jillian Hayes, again, being able to do what she does well. They space the court, find Hayes for ISOs.
A good reposition there, passed out of it, and then went right back inside to find her. West Virginia going to Thomas, handoff right back to Harrison, and she's stripped. 2-on-2 the other way. Jackson joining late, and Hilton loses it out of bounds.
Foot on the gas, foot on the gas. Cincinnati's off to the races, and they play well in transition. West Virginia did a good job of getting all the way back to absorb that momentum, force the turnover.
High-low feed here for Thomas. West Virginia's missed a few right around the basket. Coach Kellogg over there on the sideline just throwing his hands up saying, what are you guys doing? Those are easy looks.
Cincinnati's in a very scrappy defensive set. You see they've already had a few deflections, forced a couple of turnovers, but perhaps the shot blocking of Cincinnati is weighing on the minds of West Virginia when they're down at the rim, wondering where the shot blockers are.
Now, Quinterly tried to absorb that contact, didn't get the call in the corner. Jackson, too strong off the glass. Shaw, the drive. Left it short. Offensive rebound, Thomas for the putback.
Well, Jordan Thomas, 6'3" freshman, didn't connect the previous possession, but right there, right back at it off the offensive rebound.
Mid-range for Reagan Jackson. And a rebound for Shaw for West Virginia. Shaw lets the defender fly by and pulls up. Too strong. Watson almost with a steal in the backcourt. Started her career at South Dakota and drew high praise from Mark Kellogg, the head coach. Said she's the glue. It's hard to take her off the floor the way she impacts the game in so many ways. Daly Dunn called for the offensive foul. Second charge taken by Jordan Harrison. Now West Virginia by 3. It was a bit of a sloppy start for both teams. They've started to settle in midway point of quarter number 1.
If you love what Donato's puts on
Virginia's defense so sharp is they play well together. The defense is in sync, moving as one unit.
Inside feed to Thomas, and she lays it in. And again, we mentioned making baskets so important to West Virginia because then they can throw on that patented press and force those turnovers.
This is where the percentages become important, not only scoring those baskets, but getting the high percentage shots and getting defense in position to press.
Almost the steal for Quinterly. You mentioned it, AB, last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12 and could be in the running for that award again. Although this year she's been outdone by Kaya Watson, who leads the Big 12 in steals per game. Her teammate at more than 3 a game.
That's right, Kaya Watson, 32 for West Virginia. Leads West Virginia in steals and the Big 12.
Ramaya Bird battling for the rebound, but it touches the end line. Going back to West Virginia.
So Cincinnati, only one of their last 7 field goals. This West Virginia defense, if they're not forcing a turnover, they're forcing a tough shot.
Good pass inside again to Thomas.
Well, with 3-point shooters on the court, the zone of Cincinnati is stuck between 2 vulnerable positions. And right now, it's the inside scoring of Thomas.
Couple of baskets in a row for the freshman. Top 100 recruit, 4-star by ESPN. Man blocked, trying to work her way inside. Quinterly, the advanced dribble. Now blocking foul, the call. 2 free throws for Quinterly.
J.J. Quinterly pushing this tempo. And right off of another West Virginia block and steal, she gets right out in front of the races. Daily Dunn, the senior for Cincinnati, tries to get back to take what would be the 3rd charge of the game, but is called for the block.
Quinterly, that 38-point game last time out, tied the single-game program record at West Virginia. Coach Kellogg said that we've seen that from her in the past, not the 38 points, obviously, not that kind of volume, but it was more special being her last home game at WVU Coliseum. It wrapped up a 16-0 regular season at home, and said we've seen that potential all the time, but just having it happen in the last game was so special to watch. That is off of Quinterly, out of bounds. Did you ever get in a zone like that, AB, where it just felt like the basket was a million miles wide and you couldn't miss?
Perhaps once.
Not to the extent of Quinterly.
Very few players can experience what J.J. Quinterly has with West Virginia. Just the amount of times that she's been able to score high volume.
And Jillian Hayes rattles that one in for Cincinnati. She has scored in double figures 21 times this year and off to a good start today. 4 points, 3 rebounds. Long skip over to Woodley, who's into the game for the first time. Thomas trying to work inside, hits off her foot. Saved by Watson, 5 to shoot. Quinterly all tangled up, and Bird down to the floor to grab the loose ball. But it is over the end line, out of bounds. Delaney Snyder was trying to save it down there, and because Cincinnati got the possession, that shot clock reset, so it is West Virginia basketball. That is not a shot clock violation.
So this is interesting. Shot clock winding down, just about 1 second left on the shot clock when Cincinnati gets possession. And then as the ball's rolling, just rolls out of bounds for West Virginia ball back.
Tough shot for Tirza Moore, cleaned up by Riviere, and she's blocked off the French woman. I beg your pardon, off Cincinnati, out of bounds.
So this is what's going to be interesting. Cincinnati clearly feeling as if a lot of the whistles are not going their way. It's still early in the game. Cincinnati needs to stay focused and stay just in their rhythm, block out the officials, let the coaches worry about the officials.
J.J. Quinterly drills the 3. She has 10 points in this first quarter, coming off that 38-point game and not missing a beat today.
Well, for West Virginia's second made three-point basket.
Here's Delaney Snyder. Over to Bird now, working her way inside. And Woodley ties her up. Arguably the best defender of all the players that could draw that praise for West Virginia. Coach Kellogg said she is an elite defender. Just saw it there.
Well, the defense becoming the offense. And right now, the offense for West Virginia is just in rhythm and in sync.
A much-needed basket there for Cincinnati. A corner three for Reagan Jackson. Flash to Riviere. Over to Watson, corner three ball. That's an over-the-back foul on Riviere.
So Cincinnati made a substitution, getting Delaney Snyder in the game. Standing at 6'5", Delaney Snyder puts a little bit more pressure on the inside game of West Virginia, particularly with Riviere.
Jackson giving it down low to Hayes. Quickly double team there. Reagan Jackson, right-handed floater, missed it. Rebound Quinterly. Just knifing her way through the transition and drills the pull-up.
So 1-on-2, Quinterly opts to take a pull-up at the nail.
Four seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ariel Jackson, step back three. Got it! They call her 3-2-1 for when the shot clock is winding down. And plays like that show why.
Third piece, that vital piece to the Cincinnati recipe for why they're playing so well this season.
Second quarter starts with a Sydney Shaw missed three, but an offensive rebound for Tirza Moore. And the second chance goes down. Tirza Moore, the senior from Oklahoma City, started her career at Oral Roberts.
So right back, Cincinnati trying to work the ball around, but the West Virginia defense is moving so quickly. Their hands are high on their closeouts, making it tough. But Reagan Jackson, the Jackson squared for another three.
And her second make from long range today. Give her 7. Riviere misses from the free throw line.
And as you mentioned, Anthony, when West Virginia misses the shot, you won't have the opportunity to see the press that they get into, and it limits West Virginia's ability to swarm and double team the ball.
Too strong for man on the pull-up. Yeah, the grinded out half-court games for West Virginia, that's not the style they want to get into, but when Quinterly's making shots like this, she's in one heck of a zone. It really doesn't matter for the Mountaineers.
Well, J.J. Quinterly now with 15 points.
She might do better today than she did last game against Utah.
Well,
a blocking foul. Riviere went tumbling down, and Holtman will go to the free throw line.
Well, that was some contact. Abby Holtman, another three-point specialist for Cincinnati, attempting to put the ball on the floor. But that second line of the West Virginia defense committing the foul.
Holtman has still not missed a free throw for Cincinnati this year, for a team that is 3rd in the nation in free throws made per game. That is what has won them a lot of games this year, is that free throw shooting. More than 17 makes at the line per game. Holtman made them both there. Cincinnati on the day, 3 of 5 at the line. A gamble on the steal there. Quinterly comes down with it, knifes her way inside once again.
Cincinnati staying in their zone, and that time J.J. Quinterly able to drive around the back line of the zone for the layup.
Cincinnati gets it across with about 1.5 seconds to spare. Mountaineers nearly forced a turnover on that far sideline. Jackson lost it, and leaking out ahead of the pack, Jordan Harrison turning on the Jets and pushed from behind by Hayes.
Well, turning on the Jets is the perfect description. It's tough to really see how quickly West Virginia gets the ball up the court, and for Jordan Harrison to do it on the dribble.
Cincinnati's going to make some changes before the free throws. Hilton coming back in with Jordan Harrison stepping to the line. The mom of this West Virginia group. Despite being a junior, Coach Kellogg says she's that voice in the locker room. It's kind of that uniting force.
Another player who, in addition to Quinterly, was also recognized on the all-defensive team.
A very good player. She followed Coach Kellogg from Stephen F. Austin, where she was the freshman of the year. Now foul on the inbound. That is on Harrison, so that is her second. So decision time for Mark Kellogg, excuse me, if he's going to keep her in, and for now he will. Good press break here for the Bearcats. Coach Merriweather said that was a big focal point for them to work on that leading into this game, but they missed the layup at the back end of it.
Yeah, it's always tough as a coach and as a player when you break up the press. When is it time to continue to score in transition in the flow of that press offense versus pull it out and move the ball around to get a shot in the half court? For Cincinnati, scoring within the flow of the press offense seems like the key factor. So good decision by Bree Byers.
It didn't work out despite that good decision. That's a rare miss today for Quinterly. Rare miss the last couple of games. Riviere keeps it alive. And Harrison caps it with the 3.
Well, there she is again, doing now in the half court. Jordan Harrison.
Chloe Mann, look at the 3. Ariel Jackson, offensive rebound, and missed it. Riviere, the defense inside. That pass a little bit out of the range of Shaw.
So the guards rebounding. West Virginia comes up with this loose ball, gets it out, moves it around, and is able to score a 3. And then right back at it, Tanea Hilton. Drove it early in the game, got called for a charge, but is continuing her aggressiveness with her first bucket of the game.
That's another one of those decisions there, AB. Do you pull it out and set up the offense, or do you just go right to the basket? And Hilton decided to go right to the cup after the press break.
That's the signature for the players on the court. When you see Tanea Hilton, she has the senior leadership, experienced player, and then you contrast that with a Chloe Mann for Cincinnati, the freshman, learning the nuances of the decision-making and timing.
What a pass. Jordan Harrison putting together a good couple of minutes. The find to Riviere. Quickly down again for Hilton. Missed that one. Byers, couple of chances. None go down.
And Tanea Hilton right back on the attempted outlet to J.J. Quinterly. Hilton is there to deflect and poke that ball away.
West Virginia will inbound on the baseline in the backcourt.
Look for Quinterly and Hilton to continue to go right at each other.
West Virginia by 13, approaching the halfway mark of the second quarter. team still something to play for today, and their energy and hustle is reflecting that. All tangled up inside. Possession arrow is going to give it to Cincinnati.
Bearcats ball on the alternating possessions.
So far, we've seen a lot of scrambles, pokes at the ball, scuffles, if you will, and the hustle plays. Two very defensive-minded teams. And as you mentioned in the open, Anthony, playing for a lot, playing for not only the win in this game, but for seeding going on. So both teams understand that a lot on the line.
And you would think coming into this game for Cincinnati, more or less locked into the 10 seed. West Virginia, of course, could not win the Big 12 championship. And a 3-ball there for Hilton makes it a 10-point game again. But both coaches really emphasized the importance to not be complacent in this game today. They want the momentum going into the Big 12 tournament. And of course, for West Virginia, they're more or less a lock for the NCAA tournament, wanting the better seeding going into the big dance. Quinterly denied inside. That was the defense from the freshman man. Hilton tries again from long range.
Again, not a bad look for Cincinnati, shooting right now 38% from the field.
Too strong for Shaw. Good box out by Hayes.
Well, before that 3 by Shaw, West Virginia had been shooting 50% from the 3, and Cincinnati shooting 57% from the 3, having an outstanding shooting night. 5 for 8 from the 3 for Cincinnati.
That is the first for Mann today. Quinterly the answer. Got it.
So now with her 3rd made 3 of the game, J.J. Quinterly already up to 20 points in the first half.
Mann doing her best to tiptoe that sideline, but she was out of bounds.
Timeout on the court.
So it'll be West Virginia's possession when we return to Cincinnati. 10-point game between the Mountaineers and the Bearcats.
Today we would like to
And
recognize
both lighting it up from 3 in this first half.
Let's give a cheer for our following seniors. Arissa Lane.
Now Chloe Mann had the first 3,
Thomas Streetfeld.
but J.J. Quinterly
Tyler
continuing her special run, the silencer.
Megan Kennedy. We'd like to welcome the following
Hard to believe it, but J.J. Quinterly, coming off a 38-point game against Utah, is on pace for a better game today. 20 points with still more than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Coach Kellogg told us, AB, that she's getting WNBA looks. There have been some scouts at the home games at WVU Coliseum. No one better to ask than you. You coached at that level. How does her game translate to the W?
When you look at the quickness of J.J. Quinterly, her decision-making on the court, her ability to stop on a dime and elevate, stay within her form, and finish tough pull-up mid-range shots. She has all of those key pieces that one would look for in a top draft pick and just a top WNBA mainstay.
And the willingness to play defense, of course. How many players nowadays only want to focus on the offensive end?
That's right. Her commitment to the defensive end, no one put it better than Bill Lambier. 50% of the game is played on defense.
A late shot clock here for the Mountaineers. The feed inside to Thomas and took the extra step. Really good defensive possession there for the Bearcats out of the timeout.
Coming right out of the timeout, Cincinnati locked in on the scouting defense. And against West Virginia, that's a tough assignment. There's 3 players for West Virginia averaging in double figures, and we've already seen inside what the interior game of Thomas has done tonight with 6 points so far.
Man needs some help and finds Jackson, who has been quiet since that buzzer-beating shot to end the first quarter. Poked from behind by Woodley. And Coach Merriweather expected this to be a much higher scoring game compared to the game in Morgantown. That was a 69-50 win for the Mountaineers. And it's proven to be the case here in the first half, with both teams in a pretty good offensive flow. A foul from behind by Thomas.
First personal, 4th team foul.
Well, Jordan Thomas trying to keep the ball out of the hands of Jillian Hayes. And Thomas just reaching over there defensively, picks up a foul.
Lob out to Byers. And right back inside to Hayes. No surprise they want to double her as quickly as possible. They're going to wave off that shot. A foul before the release.
No basket.
So Jillian Hayes here. The double team comes through. Jillian Hayes seems to already be gathered and heading up into her shot.
Free throws for the Bearcats, number 20.
She will go to the line. The Mountaineers over the limit with that foul regardless, but it is not an and one attempt for Hayes. We've talked about the MO for West Virginia, that defense forcing turnovers, AB. This is the MO for Cincinnati. Get teams in foul trouble, get them over the limit, be in the bonus, and shoot free throws for as much of the quarter as possible.
Cincinnati is top in the nation when it comes to made free throws. Free throws made per game, Bearcats are averaging over 17.
They have missed more than usual today. Just 50% at the line, 4 of 8. Good defense from Hayes.
Cincinnati had a much needed stop, but West Virginia quickly back on defense.
Hayes right back outside to Mann. Too strong from 3. Harrison up ahead to Woodley, wide open lane to the cup. And another miss for the Mountaineers. They had shored that up as this game has gone along. They missed a few right around the rim to start this contest. Quinterly, another finish inside.
What a great finish by Quinterly. The ability to score, dribble, and attack so well as defenses are over-aggressive on their closeouts because of her three-point shooting ability.
22 and counting. She is averaging 30 points per game over the last game and a half. Step back, Jackson, rims out. Quickly ahead for Woodley. And a travel by Harrison. Looking to feed it down low.
Well, as Woodley pushes the ball up in transition, she's able to find Jordan Harrison. But Cincinnati, that possession, did a good job of getting back on defense. A few possessions prior, it's tough on Cincinnati's transition defense when you see Quinterly over in a corner and you got to make a decision on who to match up and guard.
Mann trying to spin her way, decides to fall away instead. Byers the rebound. Trying to get out of traffic there, but West Virginia too much to handle. Harrison surveying her options. Good position for Thomas. Count it. Carved up the space inside, and a three-point play for the freshman.
Well, Jordan Thomas sprinted down the court to get early and deep post position. And with pinning done on her back, she was able to get it, split the double team for the finish.
Missed the free throw, and a good rebound by Byers, and fouled afterwards. Woodley commits the foul, her first, but it will put Byers at the line.
The West Virginia foul was number 2, Sydney Woodley. First personal. Penalty situation. The Mountaineers.
So this is a game where Cincinnati is going to continue to go deep into their bench. They're known for playing a lot of players in a variety of minutes. And Brianna Byers, she joins Jillian Hayes in the double-double club. Of course, not as many as Jillian Hayes, but as a freshman, Brianna Byers earned a few double-doubles herself.
Well, not the best free throw shooter for Cincinnati, only about 50%, and stays right on that average, 1 of 2. 12-point game ticking towards 1 minute to go in the first half.
Cincinnati staying in their zone, keyed and locked in on J.J. Quinterly.
She gives it up to Harrison, who's blocked inside. That was Bird to get a hand to it. Numbers for the Bearcats, but Mann coughs it up.
Well, Chloe
that is
Mann,
the 10th turnover for Cincinnati.
she tried to make that pass, but didn't quite have a handle on the ball to get the pass off quick enough.
Bailout there for Cincinnati. Shaw had a great look at the three. 15 seconds the difference between the shot and game clock here to close out the first half. Harrison fakes it and blocked. Another one for Bird.
Well, Ramaya Bird for Cincinnati, she is right now that shot blocking presence. And with Cincinnati adjusting to some injuries of their key shot blockers, Ramaya Bird stepping right in and filling that space.
Coach Merriweather said she's more comfortable on the offensive end, but taking strides defensively there. Quinterly just too tough.
And now right back with 10 seconds left to play in the half.
Dunn for three. Rebound Thomas, still some time here for the Mountaineers. Harrison looks at the clock. Long heave to end the half is off the mark.
At halftime to score, the West Virginia Mountaineers.
West Virginia up by 14 at the break. Well, half for Quinterly, 24 points for the star senior. What does she have in store for us in the second half? We're about to find out. West Virginia basketball up 14.
And you see, this is why Quinterly is on so many watch lists, including the Ann Myers Drysdale watch list.
And immediately Harrison going to the basket, earning the foul. Harrison was in some foul trouble in the first half and still put up 8 points of her own.
For 2 shots.
Jordan Harrison coming out and walking to the free throw line with that smile on her face. And she joins teammate Quinterly for watch list. Jordan Harrison on the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year preseason watch list.
Made them both. A good start for West Virginia, just 10 seconds into the second half.
Ariel Jackson for Cincinnati, one of the 2 Jacksons who had a big first half for the Bearcats to keep this game within reach.
And Cincinnati, for the first quarter and a half of this game, really kept it within arm's reach, as you mentioned, AB. It was that end of the second quarter where West Virginia really ramped it up on defense, held Cincinnati 0 of their last 4 to end the half, and made some baskets of their own to extend the lead.
And a lot of that came from turnovers.
Hayes to the rim, lays it in. 7 points, 5 rebounds for Hayes today.
Coach Merriweather says she likes playing small because it opens up the court and gives Hayes more room around the basket.
There's Watson, almost taken away by Hilton. Harrison with it, 8 to shoot. Good crossover, double team, Blackston, extra pass. Watson, 2 seconds to shoot. She's stuck and misses everything.
Violation. It's Bearcats ball.
Nice defensive set there by Cincinnati. Watson was in a jam and forced to take the shot with the clock winding down. Something you don't see very often from West Virginia offense because they like to push and score early.
Hilton with the left, missed it. Rebound Shaw, who's been quiet today. No points, she's 0 of 6 from the floor for a player averaging 12 a game. Quinterly gives it up and is called for the offensive foul. Would have been a turnover anyway. Hilton had the steal. Reagan Jackson took the charge first.
So J.J. Quinterly now committing a foul, her first foul of the game. West Virginia matched up.
A missed 3 for Ariel Jackson, and a foul inside as Hayes was going up.
The West Virginia foul was charged to number 14.
They get Kylie Blackston. She didn't play very much in that first half. Blackston only 2 minutes. Jordan Thomas outplayed her, and now Thomas going to come back in. It's been a tough day for the senior who started her career at Colorado, Kylie Blackston. And Thomas, the freshman, has played well today, so she comes back in. But Hayes at the line, second in the Big 12 in rebounds per game. And drew extremely high praise from Coach Merriweather. She silenced, I think, a lot of people when we spoke to her, AB, leading into this game. She said there have been some whispers about, well, it's taken 5 years for Hayes to set so many records. And she said, I'm putting an end to that. That is absolutely ridiculous. The impact she's left on this program, transitioning from mid-major to Big 12, Power 4 conference, it's been undeniable. The impact that she has felt and had on this Cincinnati Bearcats program.
Not only the impact that Jillian Hayes has had, again, to the win-loss column, her impact on the court, but also her impact in the community and to the city of Cincinnati is just a thing worth honoring.
That is Jordan Thomas again inside, who's played very well today. That's a good point as well, AB, the community impact for Hayes being from the Queen City herself. Misfire from the corner for Reagan Jackson, and now the leak out for Quinterly. Blocked up top, and then a late whistle on the baseline. A man's going to get called for that foul.
Chloe Mann with her first personal foul. Coming up, she felt like she got all ball, but then again, everyone thinks they get all ball.
So puts Quinterly at the line, and they exchange a couple of words. I have a feeling a player of Quinterly's stature, though, and her experience, she's not going to get rattled, especially when that's a freshman on the other side, chirping at you a little bit.
No, not at all. J.J. Quinterly, she's comfortable in her skin, so to speak, and comfortable with her style of play, with her game, and focused on her team at this moment. Again, we talk about looking not too far ahead of the game, but still keeping the big picture in mind and playing for postseason berths. Both of these teams are.
Last touch by West Virginia. Thomas got one right to the midsection there. She's a bit hunched over. Brianna Byers going to come in for Cincinnati and take out Tanea Hilton.
Number 2, Tanea Hilton. The Bearcats will inbound on the baseline.
Cincinnati showing its flexibility with the rosters and the lineups that they're able to put in, and Bree Byers getting some key minutes.
And Harrison just broke up that dribble handoff, but couldn't finish it. And Watson Johnny on the spot, but the foul as man went down hard.
The West Virginia foul was number 32, Kaya Watson.
A quick outlet to Chloe Mann there. And as Mann goes to turn to get ready to take off, Kaya Watson, the senior for West Virginia, right there.
Bearcats ball.
So Cincinnati gets it back, down by 16.
So now Cincinnati was able to get some free throws late in that second quarter
Last touch by the Mountaineers. It's Bearcats ball.
by forcing
Down the baseline.
the pressure on this West Virginia defense. West Virginia committing over 5 fouls.
That's off the right knee of Thomas. And Cincinnati, a lot of times when they come back from these double-digit deficits, they have 4 comeback wins this year. It's because they get to the free throw line and work their way inside, just like Hayes did there.
Work for that one. A lot of work inside for Jillian Hayes to get that basket up over a double team.
Now, there's still a lid on the basket today for Sydney Shaw. And Thomas, you talk about work, she is putting in a lot of it inside today for the Mountaineers.
This inside game, where you're looking at Jordan Thomas for West Virginia, Jillian Hayes for Cincinnati, for such a guard-dominant roster for both teams, a guard-heavy scoring, the inside games today are very physical.
Thomas today, 10 points, 6 rebounds. She has 1 double-double on the year. Good give off to find her. What a pass by Harrison.
Well, Harrison is just showing her passing and her distribution skills.
12 points for Thomas. Her career high is 18 in the non-conference against High Point. West Virginia called for the foul there
Foul, 32,
on
Kaya
Watson.
Her third. Team's fourth.
Ariel Jackson
It's out to the foul
leading
line for
right now
Bearcats.
Cincinnati
Number
in
4,
scoring
Ariel
in this
Jackson will have 2
contest.
shots.
Second on Cincinnati in scoring when this contest was 7 points. Jillian Hayes leading with 10. But Ariel Jackson scoring early in the game is what kept Cincinnati on the cusp and on the heels of West Virginia.
Now, Cincinnati continues to miss free throws at an uncharacteristic rate today. 6 of now 14. And a lane violation against Cincinnati as well. So Cincinnati has missed a bunch of free throws in this game. They don't shoot it at the best percentage in the Big 12, but 74% is certainly respectable. It's more of a volume for Cincinnati, but they're missing a lot today that they don't usually miss.
And for a team who prides themselves in scoring at the free throw line, West Virginia is taking the momentum away, and a lot of it right there from their 3-point shooting. There's Jordan Harrison with another 3. That is 3 for 3 now for Harrison.
And she has joined Thomas and Quinterly in double figures with that make.
Last touch by West Virginia. It's Bearcats ball.
13 points. She has made all 3 of her threes today. Thomas has 12. Quinterly, the big scorer, at 25. Well, Harrison fell down here on the inbound. Allows Mann to get an open look, but she short-armed it. 2-on-2 the other way. Harrison and Quinterly leading the charge. Quinterly missed it.
Good defense by Reagan Jackson there to deter the shot of Quinterly.
Cincinnati trying to get the offense sorted out. Long 2, Hayes, got it.
Inside and outside, Jillian Hayes now with 12 points to lead all Cincinnati scorers.
West Virginia slowing down their pace a little bit in the half court with the sizable lead. Shaw trying to break the ice. Thomas again to the glass. What a job she's done inside today for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Well, 6 rebounds for Thomas, including 14 offensive rebounds for West Virginia, and hence the lead.
Winner takes the series today. Part of a program revival that a lot of Cincinnati programs have seen. I'd say the same about this West Virginia women's and men's basketball team. Both have been ranked this year. The women have been ranked from start to finish. West Virginia men were ranked earlier this year. A miss on the second free throw, and Quinterly comes away with the rebound for the Mountaineers. And a block committed by Reagan Jackson.
Well, Shaw driving to the basket aggressively, and Sydney Shaw able to get to the spot before Reagan Jackson. Reagan Jackson picking up another foul.
And that puts West Virginia at the line. The Bearcats have committed a bunch of fouls in this third, so the Mountaineers now beating the Bearcats at their own game, getting Cincinnati in foul trouble and shooting free throws.
Early in this third quarter, it was West Virginia committing the fouls, and they've dialed that back and been able to get their defense settled in.
Shaw finally gets in the scoring column today. It had been a tough game for her until that point. 2 of 2 at the line. Long two. Hilton rattles it in.
It's a good basket by Tanea Hilton. We've seen all game Cincinnati trying to be aggressive and score in the flow of their press offense quickly against this West Virginia pressing defense.
Thomas, the kick. Good pump fake. Shaw. Right back to Thomas, and she lost it. Hilton trying to slow herself down to grab that loose ball and set up the offense here for Cincinnati. They've come back from multiple double-digit deficits to win this season. They're going to do it today. You have a feeling it starts with a run to end the third quarter. And Hilton hoping to spark it. A couple of baskets in a row.
Well, Tanea Hilton now with 10 points, the second Bearcat in double figures.
Quinterly once again, the silencer.
J.J. Quinterly point count today up to 27.
A quiet third by her standards today. I thought she had a steal there. Whistled for the foul.
That's one thing you notice about this West Virginia defense is how quickly and aggressively they swarm the basketball. Quite often you see defenders move with the body of the offense, but West Virginia is keyed in on ball, eyes on the ball.
So now with both teams over the limit, Cincinnati shooting free throws. This is the area, AB, that they need to start making some, and man does that time. This game would be a lot closer if Cincinnati had made more free throws today. Uncharacteristic misses at the line. Harrison off the screen, back to Watson, pivoting her way inside. Waiting for the screen, Quinterly over to Harrison for 3. She's got it. She has not missed from long range today.
4 for 4 from the three-point line for the second leading scorer for West Virginia, Jordan Harrison, averaging 13 points per game, and today was 16.
Extra pass, Jackson, the 3 ball. It's too short. Harrison comes away with it. Woodley. And stripped, but a foul. Nobody picked her up until she was in the paint. And at that point, it was too late.
You like how heads up West Virginia is here, moving the basketball around, finding Jordan Harrison for yet another three-point shot. And then again, off of a miss, pushing it quickly in transition, nothing there, reversing the ball. And finding Sydney Woodley.
Woodley had been coming on lately for this West Virginia team, playing well down the stretch. Transfer from Long Beach State, who started her career at Cal State Northridge. Very good defender, which is exactly what Coach Kellogg wants. Almost had a steal there, but instead ends up interrupting a family gathering.
And did it ever so gently, and I'm impressed that the family gathering was able to get a portion of the beverages out of the way.
Yeah, it looks like whatever portion didn't get out of the way ended up on Woodley's leg.
Of course, in Cincinnati, the courtside seats always full.
Well, right now they're full of Kool-Aid or whatever that was.
Kool-Aid and a lot of enthusiasm.
You drink enough of that Kool-Aid with all the sugar it be, you'll certainly be enthusiastic.
You talk about these high-scoring games. I had the opportunity to be live in Chicago when Jimmy Butler scored over 50 points. I believe it was 51 points he had that night. And when you see a player score such a high volume live like that, the energy is just electric, and it really is a special moment. So when you look at J.J. Quinterly, although she's not on her home court, to be able to then go on the road and score in such high volume masses on the road here in a tough Fifth Third Arena.
I bet it's even more fun when you're sitting in those courtside seats like that to see it firsthand up close in person.
Nothing beats courtside.
Well, nothing beats where we get to sit courtside.
100% true. Best seats in the house.
A good contest by Thomas, denying Bird in there. It goes out of bounds with 5 to shoot.
5 seconds. Shot clock, 5 seconds.
Getting the ball back inside to Ramaya Bird, whose defense has been key for Cincinnati in this game today. Bird with 3 blocks in only 8 minutes.
Cincinnati has to fire in a hurry here. It's Hilton who hits it.
Tanea Hilton, 65% of Tanea Hilton's points are scored in the second half. And right now she has 13 points on this game. Majority scored, of course, in the second half.
And Coach Merriweather has talked about how sometimes it's a little bit nerve-wracking when she is so quiet in the first half, how long it takes her to get into the flow of the game. But when that second half arrives, Hilton certainly turns it up a notch. And case in point today, 5 points in the second quarter, none in the first, and 8 already in the third.
Well, quick handoff. Hilton sees a slither of daylight and has enough to gather a tough 3 off of the dribble.
And a tie-up after the inbound possession arrow to Cincinnati.
So Cincinnati able to get a stop. First of all, by Ramaya Bird getting another block earlier in that possession. West Virginia takes the ball out of bounds. Cincinnati able to come up with the stop.
And down 16, couple baskets and a few stops, and Cincinnati might feel pretty good about themselves going to the fourth quarter. And starts with that spinning finish for Hayes.
Jillian Hayes is another one of those special players that you appreciate more and more, especially when you see her play in person.
Hilton gets stuck over Quinterly. Somehow play continues with no whistles, and I jinxed it as Harrison got whacked right on the nose. Kudos to the officials, I think, for letting them play originally. So that ball was loose. Everyone was battling for it, and then you can't let that one go when Harrison got smacked right in the nose.
And that's been the flow of this game today. A lot of scrambles, a lot of balls being poked away, a lot of diving on the floor, getting tangled up.
Replaces number 32, Kyle Watson, West Virginia lineup.
And just the nature of how these two teams play, especially against a West Virginia team that is one of the best in the nation in forcing opponent turnovers. Cincinnati today only 12.
And you contrast that with game 1, where Cincinnati was forced by West Virginia into 24 turnovers.
Harrison makes 1 of 2, and Cincinnati is going to call a timeout. And we will take it 2 here in Cincinnati. 42.7 to go in the third. Cincinnati down 15, trying to close out the third quarter on a high note and stay within arm's reach going to the fourth. Jillian Hayes wrapping up her career in Cincinnati this season, playing what very well could be her final home game. And you see the mark she has left on the program. All-time leader in games, free throws, blocks, second in rebounds, top 5 and 6 in steals and points. Just a very good player, AB, that is going to leave a very strong impact on the program for years to come.
You look at the impact that Jillian Hayes has on Cincinnati and those career points. Today she was able to move up to 6th all-time for career points. And this is behind some dynamic players, 2 of whom scored over 2,000 points. Cheryl Cook and Valerie King both scored over 2,000 points. So for Jillian Hayes to be in the mix with that company, kudos to Jill Hayes as a player.
Coach Merriweather just called the timeout to try to get perhaps a score and stop here to open or to end the third quarter before the fourth starts. Kick outside over to Hilton now. She's had a very good third. Trying to step her way through, and that one rolls off. Nearly an acrobatic finish. Jackson down to the ground to keep it alive, but the possession arrow gives it to the Mountaineers with 14.6 to go in the third.
Well, at halftime, we were able to see the circus act come on the court, and Tanea Hilton with her almost circus-esque drive to the basket.
Now, you asked me if I would ever try any of that, and the answer was a very quick no. Those unicycles scare me.
You got to be willing to get out there and try something new every once in a while. Put the mic down and head out to the court.
Harrison at the buzzer, it's short. I'd like to see you on a unicycle.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I'll keep that in mind. ESPN crew, happy to bring you the regular season finale here in the Big 12. A couple of games going on tomorrow, including the winner-take-all between Baylor and TCU. What a program, or what a year both of those programs have had. And still something to play for each team today. West Virginia trying to better their seeding in the Big 12 tournament and then in the NCAA tournament. Cincinnati trying to have some momentum going into the Big 12 tournament and secure their spot in what they're hoping is a WBIT berth for their postseason, barring a dramatic run in the Big 12 tournament next week in Kansas City. Off the mark for Hilton to open up the quarter, and the rebound inside for Tirza Moore.
Fourth quarter is always being a very interesting quarter, particularly when you see this gap, because momentum is key. Only 15 points separate Cincinnati and West Virginia right now, and Cincinnati shooting well.
Here's Moore on the drive, late shot clock. Couldn't bank it in. Thomas again, but couldn't put it in on the stick back. She's played an excellent game today, closing in on a double-double for the Mountaineers. Hilton with the right hand, rolls off the rim.
Well, that's twice now Tanea Hilton has been able to creatively find ways to get to the basket for a tough shot, unable to connect on the finish.
Quinterly is bumped. There'll be a baseline inbound before the shot, that foul.
So, of course, with the start of the fourth quarter, the first team foul going against Cincinnati.
Off the mark for Quinterly, who after scoring 12 in each of the first 2 quarters only had 3, but only took 2 shots in the third. Trying for the handoff, and Woodley did just enough to break it up. Long 2, Bird, she hits it. Very comfortable in her offensive game.
Ramaya Bird is really finding her rhythm here, and it's starting with her defense. Her first made bucket of today's game.
13 points separating Cincinnati and West Virginia. Quinterly, good find to Woodley, and she'll go to the line. You can just see the impact that Quinterly has as well, AB. You know, so much attention to her offensive games that defense have to focus on her, but she's one heck of a passer too.
Quite oftentimes you'll see players look too out of the side, and Ramaya Bird there a key defender for Cincinnati, able to knock down that long two. But you'll see players looking from the periphery to see ball and man. But when J.J. Quinterly has the ball, you'll see heads turn, and she'll have full attention of defenses. And Woodley able to just move without the basketball, find an open gap, and get to the free throw line.
Woodley makes them both on the season 80%. West Virginia is the second best team in the Big 12 at shooting free throws, 76% as a group. Into the front court, Jackson bumped from behind. Couldn't put it down, but free throws for the sophomore. She loves that free throw line shot.
Yeah, Reagan Jackson with the pull-up. This is her bread and butter when she's able to get into the paint, draw some contact.
And sometimes it's a true pull-up, sometimes it's more of a one-handed step through with the right hand. She has some different options from that spot when she can get there. Knocks in both.
Yeah, Reagan Jackson is another player you look at when you think about pro potential and the ability to have the intellect, the wherewithal, and the skill to play at the next level.
9 points and 5 assists today. Wide open on the baseline, it's Woodley.
A miscommunication, and Woodley there able to capitalize on it yet again.
Bird finds Jackson. Tough shot. Bird can't clean it up. It's still loose. Bird has it until she doesn't. Quinterly the steal. And a foul from behind. I might call that an intentional foul from behind without a play on the basketball. I think that is the call.
So loose ball here being poked around. Quinterly snatches it, and Reagan Jackson attempting to stop the momentum of West Virginia as they were pushing forward. Quinterly had the ball pushing into West Virginia 2-on-1, and Reagan Jackson trying to take the foul.
So we'll get confirmation on what the officials decide after the break. West Virginia up 68-53. The call has been confirmed here in Cincinnati. An intentional foul committed by Reagan Jackson without a play on the basketball. So 2 free throws and possession for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, attempting to stop the momentum of West Virginia as Quinterly and Harrison were headed towards a 2-on-1. Reagan Jackson goes out just to commit the foul and stop the whistle, stop the play.
So you like the idea, AB, to force West Virginia into the half-court game and slow them down in transition. Of course, it just wasn't executed the way that it needed to be.
I do. I like that idea. You know, Reagan Jackson is a competitor, and for any competitor, you don't want momentum going to the opponent. And right now, so much is going in favor of West Virginia. The attempt just to slow them down, and it proved well as the free throws didn't connect.
Yeah, sometimes they say the ball doesn't lie. So maybe that was the sign. It shouldn't have been the intentional, but nonetheless, West Virginia has the possession. Thomas through the contact. Hoop and harm.
Jordan Thomas, what a game she is having. 6 points in the first quarter, and now on the game, 13, make it 15 points. Just strong to the basket and a tough finish.
Now the future is now in Morgantown. I have a feeling that is her spot to lose going forward, especially with the graduation looming of Kylie Blackston, their starter, who has not played very much today because of the impact of Jordan Thomas. Ariel Jackson can't hit that runner, but gets it right back.
Ariel Jackson being a key rebounder right now for Cincinnati. One of the guards who's just aggressive to the basket for rebounding.
Bird off the mark from 3. Off the screen, set by Moore. Quinterly trying to work her way inside. Dunn almost with the steal. Cincinnati scrambling to get back. Quinterly, the pump fake pass, misses the 3. Look at Woodley in the backcourt, just a pest. West Virginia does not take a defensive possession off.
Well, Woodley, another deflection as she has her arms reached out and extended. Woodley's been one of several West Virginia players who are just all over the court right now with extended arms and quick feet.
71-53, 6:05 to go in the game. Cincinnati needs some baskets. They need them in a hurry. Hilton tries for it and is stripped and last touched off the leg of Hilton.
Well, that's a tough break for Cincinnati. Tanea Hilton clearly battling some contact during that drive. Not only contact on the shot, but back during the ball handling. And Coach Merriweather saying the same thing to the officials with a lot more emphasis, and looks like she'll be called for the tee.
Assistant coach Abby Jump trying to calm her down over there, but she is adamant that the Bearcats are being perhaps on the wrong end of some of those calls or not being officiated the same way.
Yeah, it's tough in a game like this where it's clearly physical on both ends. You see a player like J.J. Quinterly, like Jordan Harrison, continue to drive, attack the basket. And then on the flip side, Tanea Hilton for Cincinnati. Yes, she has 13 points, but she's 5 for 11 from the field. And 6 of those misses, Coach Merriweather's arguing a lot of contact was made.
Sometimes, AB, as a coach, or you just, that's a foul inside. Again, that's going on Cincinnati. Do you sometimes just, you never want to get teed up, but is there a strategy to getting teed up as well, of trying to light a spark, light a fire under your team?
You know, there's times where you just, twofold. Number one, Coach Merriweather is standing on principle. And the principle that she's emphasizing, not only to the officials, but to your point, the principle she's emphasizing to her team, which is to stand up for yourself. Then, as you say, lighting that fire, stoking and trying to spark one last catalyst for a final push.
Although, I guess it can go one of two ways, right? It could inspire your team, or it could just boost up the other team even more. And it appears West Virginia has used some of that momentum of their own. They get the steal off the inbounds. Looking inside for more. Great position in there, middle of the paint. But it is a 3-second pass didn't come in time.
West Virginia trying to go inside, a high-low, Jordan Thomas into Moore. But credit the defense of Bree Byers.
And hugs all around for Thomas if that's the end of her day today. It was one heck of a game. And that is a foul on Harrison.
Well, once again, we see this action. These guards are really going at it. Jordan Harrison not happy with the call, where there's more contact with Hilton and Harrison.
That is the fourth on the junior, Jordan Harrison. Here's Holtman. Good closeout by Quinterly to deny the three-point shooter. Inside, Byers, contested finish.
Well, Bree Byers, we talk about her strength. One defensive stop on an end, and then next possession down, an offensive score through some contact.
Woodley, fancy handles. Everything but the finish, cleaned up by Moore for the bucket.
Tirza Moore, another senior on this West Virginia squad.
Holtman to the rim and draws the foul. We'll get Moore.
West Virginia foul is number 30.
Abby Holtman
First personal.
pushing it to the basket, trying to get some points in the paint for Cincinnati. And Abby Holtman really having a strong Big 12 showing here for the Bearcats, improving upon her season average.
That was her first miss at the free throw line this season, and took it till the final game of the year for her to miss at the line. The lead is 21 for West Virginia, more than halfway gone in the fourth quarter. There's Blackston working her way inside and travels.
West Virginia trying to go high-low again with the low post deny. Blackston taking the opportunity to drive one too many steps.
This is an area of Brianna Byers' game she's really grown. Advancing the basketball, and it leads to the Jillian Hayes basket. Brianna Byers leading that point guard right now for Cincinnati. The ball handling has really improved for Byers and has been a big focal point for her. Harrison, the kick outside. Another good pump fake by the West Virginia Mountaineers on the perimeter, but it doesn't lead to points for Woodley.
And again, you see Byers pushing the transition, starting this possession for Cincinnati.
Big block by Moore. The end of that.
It's a nice block by Tirza Moore. Tirza Moore standing at 6 foot, and Bree Byers herself just at 5'11".
Hayes through the contact.
Well, there she is, Jillian Hayes, again, doing her signature. Defenses will play Jillian Hayes tough and push her and force her underneath the backboard. But Jillian Hayes has a way of leaning back to finish.
18 and 7 today for Jillian Hayes before this free throw. And she makes it. 16-point game. Not quite over yet, but time is not on Cincinnati's side with under 4 to play.
You look at the two seniors with Jillian Hayes and J.J. Quinterly, both rarities in this game today, in that they've played all of their eligibility at their home school.
Hilton, the finger roll with the right hand.
It's a nice finish by Tanea Hilton. Those were the finishes that she'd been attempting a few possessions earlier, and now Hilton with 15 points.
Coach Kellogg imploring his team to slow it down, get a good shot here, and break this mini run. That's a bump on the outside, committed by Hilton. It's an 8-0 Cincinnati run over the last minute and a half.
And Tanea Hilton has fouled out of today's game, and the senior gets a well-deserved ovation and appreciation and some love from her coach.
You mentioned the senior day. She will be honored after the game. You can stay tuned at the conclusion of this game to see Hilton, Hayes, and Daly Dunn all honored for the Bearcats. So Hilton ends her day 15 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. She made 3 of 4 threes. 2 of 2 there for Harrison.
And what a night for Jordan Harrison, 21 points and 4 of 4 from the three-point line.
Her and Quinterly have combined for 50. Quinterly a steal. And they have now combined for 52. Another 30-piece for Quinterly. They might add some more here. Quinterly almost lost it. And Coach Kellogg got the timeout. Have a day, JJ. Goodness gracious.
So quick hands. JJ Quinterly, another steal for a layup. Her 31 points in today's game. 7 rebounds, and get this, 7 assists for Quinterly, leading West Virginia in multiple categories.
I have a feeling I know who the front runner is for the soon-to-be reigning Big 12 Player of the Week going to the Big 12 tournament next week.
You know, perhaps the one with, as you would say, two 30 pieces.
38 against Utah, 31 today against Cincinnati for JJ Quinterly. It has been a treat to watch her play this week. And as you mentioned, don't forget about Jordan Harrison, who has 21 of her own today.
3 West Virginia Mountaineers in double figures, joined with Jordan Thomas with 16.
So coming out of the Mountaineers timeout to make sure they hold on to the possession, Quinterly doubled and loses it.
Quinterly into the front row, with landing on a couple of former Cincinnati Bearcat seniors.
Did they hold on to their drinks?
Well, they did. So Rainey Romeyer, who was able to catch Quinterly, play point guard for Cincinnati just a few years ago.
Well, Quinterly takes a seat for the Mountaineers, and the kick to Dunn for Cincinnati results in a 3. Good to see on senior day for Daly Dunn to get her name in the score column.
Yeah, Daly Dunn, phenomenal hustle, a great athlete, known for her athleticism, will also run track and compete in the Big 12 in track and field for the Bearcats.
Destiny Agubada misses for West Virginia. Her first time into the game today. Long 2 is good for Mann. Well, Quinterly's day might not be done just yet, with Cincinnati back within 13, under a minute and a half to go. Bearcats making it interesting at the end of this game.
We've seen teams come back from 12 points with just over a minute, so anything is possible when you're shooting well from the 3.
Harrison out to Woodley, 7 to shoot. Woodley, a blocking foul. It's on Reagan Jackson.
The Bearcats foul was number 3, Reagan Jackson.
That is her 3rd foul, and it's going to put Woodley at the line.
So Reagan Jackson, again, one of those players who likes to take charges, trying to get in front and cut off Woodley. But now, with her 3rd trip to the free throw line, is Sydney Woodley.
Daly Dunn. Sydney Woodley.
Woodley at the line. Shaw just came back in, excuse me, for West Virginia a moment ago. First free throw good for Woodley.
Woodley averages just under 4 points per game. And right now with this free throw, 6 points on the night for Woodley. So above her Big 12 average.
And Zion Nugent comes in to replace Woodley, who had 6 and 4 today for the Mountaineers. So this possession going West Virginia's way does not help Cincinnati's cause as they try to make it a bit more interesting, but Agubata misses. So 1 minute to go. Cincinnati hoping for a quick burst here. Hayes battling up and fouled by Blackston.
The West Virginia foul was number 14, Kylie Blackston, 4th personal.
Blackston not happy with that foul, but Cincinnati is quick ball movement up the court to find their leading scorer, 5th-year star, all Big 12 honoree, Jillian Hayes.
You might look back at the end of this game, AB, and granted it has been better in the second half, but that's now 9 missed free throws for Cincinnati today. Would it have been the difference in the game? No, perhaps not, but things could have been a lot different from start to finish if Cincinnati had made a few more of those free throws. And Hayes is going to check out and get the big round of applause.
Well, Jillian Hayes finishes the night with 20 points and 8 rebounds and finishes a home stand here in Fifth Third Arena. Just a highly decorated and well-loved student athlete.
Nugent, the kick, Shaw for 3, got it. It was a tough day today for Sydney Shaw. Her first make of the game comes in the final 30 seconds. Reagan Jackson rims out, and there's a whistle.
It's been a fun night to see as Cincinnati congratulates Jillian Hayes. A lot of love across the court for all the teams. But especially when you look at seniors and what they've been able to do and the impact that one makes on a program. It's beautiful to give them their flowers.
Oh of 2 at the line for Snyder. Agubata the rebound, and West Virginia will just dribble out the clock. So the Mountaineers, that defense traveled on the road today. The offense certainly traveled. A combined 52 between J.J. Quinterly and Jordan Harrison. They powered this offense. And some momentum going to Kansas City next week for the Mountaineers as they win it 85-69.